I'm just saying with the mask.
Oh yeah, that's why I want the mic as well. So.
Right. Okay.
Awesome. Well, you guys take it away.
So we just had a nice forum about healthcare issues, and you had some strong words about the choices that voters are going to be making this fall. How important is that issue, and what exactly is the choice on healthcare access and affordability for Coloradans?
Well, I mean, healthcare is a right? Everybody deserves some level of basic healthcare, and yet, President Trump and Cory Gardner continue their lawsuit to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which would remove protections for pre-existing conditions from it's over 2 million Coloradans. If you look at what we talked about today, of how many people, almost a third of Eagle County can't afford health insurance, even now with the Affordable Care Act, and yet, the Republicans are trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. What happens to that number if they get rid of the Affordable Care Act? So many of the people that work here in restaurants and hotels are unemployed because of, as we heard today, something they had no fault of their own, and something they're not going to have. Some estimates are in a community like this, we do over 50%, maybe somewhere between 50 and 60% of Eagle County wouldn't have insurance. That's a disaster. And government's job is when individuals alone cannot solve an issue like building a highway or creating a national healthcare system. That's when government's supposed to do it, and yet the Republicans, Cory Gardner pretended he was got a bill that would provide protections for pre-existing conditions, and every expert's looked at it and debunked it. It's a hollow shell. There's no substance to it at all, and his continued support of the lawsuit to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, I think, is reckless endangerment. He doesn't have a replacement for it, and yet they continue to want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And we saw what happens when you have that combination of negligence, of people not paying attention, and then, basic incompetence in terms of really doing things for government. That's what happened. That's why we've got this pandemic. So the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the president, and encouraged by the cowardly silence of so many Republican senators, they're going to take us into the next episode if we're not careful, and that's dramatically expanding the number of people that aren't able to have insurance.
In the rank of priorities you're hearing from voters as you go around the state, where does healthcare rank?
Right beside jobs. It's all about the pandemic, right? The fact that we were unprepared, that the damage to our economy is so far worse than almost any other industrialized country. People look at that and they say, "What? The United States used to lead the world, and now all of a sudden we're like a second-rate industrialized country."
As you are probably well aware, you're in a closely watched Senate race, one of several around the country that could determine who's going to have leadership in the Senate. If the Democrats can take over the Senate, where's going to be the main priority, healthcare and jobs-wise? What's that going to look like, come January?
Well, I think that assuming we get the majority in the Senate, that we'll really be able to look at getting to universal coverage and doing it in a cost-effective way. I think that's the key, is to recognize no one's saying we're going to blow the budget up. If you want to look at who's added more to the national debt than anybody else in history, it's Mitch McConnell. Right, he supported George W. Bush's tax cut. He supported the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. He supported this most recent tax cut. Democrats have come in and we've been the voice of reason in terms of federal spending in every way. And I think we'll get to universal coverage. We'll make sure that people maintain protections for pre-existing conditions. We're going to have to address, as we rebuild the economy, we're going to have to address climate change. Look at, again, this is the same thing from the White House and the cowardly silence from some of these senators, that climate change, they don't believe it should even be discussed. Maybe it exists, I'm not sure. Cory Gardner he just won't discuss it because he knows he doesn't have a leg to stand on, and yet look at the drought we're going through. Not only are we worried about ski resorts, but 50% of the water storage in this state is in snowpack, right? If we lose just a couple degrees here in the mountains, our whole agricultural system is threatened. And Cory Gardner's not talking about that. He doesn't have any solutions. It's, again, classic case. If If government is here to do what individuals alone cannot do, where's his plan? Right? He passed his he's been in Washington 12 years, and his one and only environmental legislation that he passed this time. This is one and only, and now suddenly he's a champion of the environment. And it doesn't hold water.
In terms of healthcare, solutions going forward, back in the presidential primary, we saw a range of views and opinions going from, tweaking the Affordable Care Act to, a public option. Where are you seeing that need to fall in terms of addressing this issue going forward?
I have not wavered one bit. I think that we have to improve the Affordable Care Act, and I think, again, I'm not aware of any other major piece of legislation that got passed and then no one tried to improve it for 10 years. And that is a reckless abandon from the White House and from the U.S. Senate, the Republicans in the Senate. I think that we have to make sure that we tweak it and improve the Affordable Care Act. Then we need to have a sliding scale public option, which is what, once all the dust settles, pretty much everyone here agreed that that's a solution, that we're gonna have to pay for it, and the way to pay for it is to look at how do we get some cost savings, significant cost savings, whether that's allowing Medicare to negotiate for prescription drugs, is it putting in some sliding scales for hospital costs? There's lots of places we can find savings.
Thanks, Governor.
No, of course, thanks for